British customers usually like their compact to mid-size sports saloons to be of German origin. Well, this one is the Genesis G70, even though it's made by a fledgling Korean brand. Developed by Teutonic engineers to challenge Europe's best in this segment, the G70 aims to pleasantly surprise those seeking something a little different in this class.
Well, all the right ingredients seem to be in place here for a decent showing. A rear-driven chassis from the excellent Kia Stinger, a petrol engine basically the same as that employed by another of our favourite sporting cars, the frantic Hyundai i30N hot hatch, and on top Sportline G70 models, an emotive kit tally that gives you chunky red-calipered Brembo brakes, a limited slip differential and grippy Michelin Sport 4S tyres. Plus, not only is adaptive damping standard above base trim, but it comes with a clever front-facing camera that scans the road ahead for bumps and preconditions the springs to adapt for them. Add in 10,000 kilometres of development work, pounding around the world's most dangerous racetrack, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, and this G70 appears to offer a promising recipe when it comes to drive dynamics. And you know what? Broadly speaking, it delivers on that promise, even if you've opted for the unpromising 197 bhp 2.2 litre diesel power plant we're trying here, which isn't especially fast, but has a decent slug of mid-range pulling power. More fun, of course, is the sharper-sounding alternative 2-litre turbo petrol unit, which comes in a choice of 194 or 241 bhp outputs. Ideally, you'd want the faster petrol variant, of course, which gets you to 62 miles an hour in just 6.1 seconds, en route to 149 miles an hour. But whatever power plant you choose, there's lots to like here if you're the kind of driver who likes to occasionally push on a bit across twisting secondary routes. The paddle shift 8-speed auto gearbox is smooth shifting, there's lots of cornering grip, and the chassis has a very balanced feel, making it easy to build up a fluid rhythm, which might make you more inclined to overlook the issue of running cost efficiency, which can't match class standards. The petrol models really are quite thirsty, so you might prefer to concentrate on this diesel, which manages 44.5 mpg on the combined cycle and 166 grams per kilometre. On the plus side, like every Genesis, this one comes with 5 years or up to 50,000 miles of free servicing included. At a stroke, this Genesis makes the alternative compact to mid-size premium badge sports saloon you were thinking of look self-effacing and rather conservative. Fine if that's what you want, but the G70 will be chosen by someone who's not afraid to make a prestige statement with a car of this kind. It certainly has the right profile proportions to do that, whether you choose this saloon or the alternative shooting brake station wagon version. The brand's chief creative officer, Luke Donkerwolke, wants this to be the most athletic model in the range, hence the way that the long bonnet and short front overhang aim to suggest agility even when the car is standing still. This car's identity lies in its enormous crest grille, which gains a dark chrome finish with this top Sportline model, along with unique dark-tinted chrome mesh. This appendage is flanked by super-thin LED quad headlamps that stretch outwards like the wings of the Genesis emblem, while evoking what the company hopes is a sprinter's pre-race posture, perhaps. At the rear, quad-lamp tail lights reflect the theme up front, and a neat boot spoiler contributes to the slippery 0.28 CD drag factor. Not sold yet? Well, Genesis reckons you will be by the time you take a seat inside the plush cabin. So let's take a look. This cabin is one of the brand's older designs and is apparently supposed to resemble a fighter jet cockpit, which is the usual kind of analogy premium brand designers use when they want to communicate an interior designed to feel sporty, which this one does, to a point, seating you low in front of a grippy 3-spoke wheel. Authenticity is another word Genesis likes to coin in relation to its design, and here we're not so sure. There's rather too much painted silver plastic for that. Much of it, though, has been surrounded by stitched leather, and above base trim you get these smart aluminium inlays. The first box almost all Genesis customers tick is the one for the extra cost innovation pack, because without it you spoil the instrument binnacle with old-fashioned dials and a smaller 8-inch screen. With that pack installed, there's this much more satisfying 12.3-inch TFT display, which changes its colour with a selected drive mode and illuminates with a gentle 3D effect. Not quite as impressive is the 10.5-inch Infotainment Screen, which decorates the top of the dash, but everything you need is on it. The seats are very comfortable and can be specified in ventilated active ergo motion form to adapt with the bends, and frontward visibility is good, though your rearward view isn't, and there's a reasonable level of cabin storage provision. Time to take a look in the rear. Genesis describes the cabin of a G70 as spacious. Well, you won't find much evidence of that if you happen to be sitting behind someone of more than average size. Space for both legs and knees is really at a premium, that word again, and you really need the scalloped cutouts in the seat backs to make it all work with any degree of comfort. Headroom's not especially generous either, even if you haven't specified the optional glass sunroof. If you've a family to consider, it might all be enough to encourage a switch to the alternative GV70 crossover model, which feels considerably roomier and, ironically, given that the SUV is four-wheel driven, has a much lower centre transmission tunnel. Still, most customers for this class of car rarely use these rear pews and don't care much about the comfort of those who do. Let's finish with a look out back. The 330-litre space revealed is rather small by class standards, mainly because it's not very deep. Genesis thinks, though, that if this is an issue, you'd be more likely to be looking at the G70 shooting brake estate at 465 litres, or that GV70 SUV at 542 litres. You can push forward the rear seat backs, though they're only provided in a 60-40 split. Anyway, once everything's flat, that obviously releases a good deal of extra space, though obviously not as much as you get in a G70 shooting brake in the same configuration, which offers 1,565 litres.